that temple is opening. So here, the feeling is here in the town, and we've gone down back lanes, we've spoken to local Muslim communities, and they're telling us they're hiding out today. They don't want to be in danger coming out here on the streets. They're telling us that this is a really dark moment and that they feel really erased by the opening of this temple. So certainly a big split here, and it really reflects, I guess, India's population as well. It's majority Hindu, but there are hundreds of millions of Muslims here who are watching on as this temple is open.
And Avni, is the temple actually finished yet? And what's the timing of this in relation to elections?
That's a really good question, Joe, because it's not actually finished. A section has been finished, so that's what Mr. Modi is opening. And some Hindu groups around the world have come out and said that they don't think that Mr. Modi should be opening this. They say that it's actually against the religion to open a temple before it's actually built. And they're saying that a religious leader should be opening it, not a political figure. But the timing of this, it's really crucial. We're just a couple of weeks out from when a national election is due to be called. So that's why Mr. Modi is speeding this up and opening this temple today, and he wants to capitalise on this. He wants to appeal to the Hindu majority voters, because this election, if he wins, it will grant him a really rare third term. So it's an important moment for Narendra Modi, and he is really building this up. We have seen the biggest stars in India arrive here in the town today. Cricketer Sachin Tendulkar has arrived, major Bollywood stars, the richest people in India. There's a big song and dance here, and Narendra Modi is hoping that that will basically launch his campaign and bring him a victory in about 6 months' time.
And how's he actually doing in the polls, and what does this mean for India's future?
Well, Joe, he's doing really well. I mean, everyone expects that Narendra Modi will win this election, but he is being served up a really big battle by opposition parties, 26 of them. There are quite a few here in India. They've actually united in the last few months because they want to try and defeat Modi. And that's really going to test Mr. Modi. Last year, it was seeming like it was a sure deal, but now these opposition parties coming together, that's going to solidify a lot of support across the country. And it's fair to note as well that some parts of the country are quite angry about this temple opening. The opposition has spoken out against it. One state, Tamil Nadu in the south, has actually banned streamings of this temple opening, which are happening all over the country. So it's a real test for Modi. Will he actually be able to galvanise the support that he's hoping to? I mean, on the streets here, it looks like he's got that fandom. The roads behind me are blocked and it feels like a celebrity's arrived. People are going crazy on the streets. But whether that's reflected across the country, we're going to see that in the next few months. He's definitely got a challenge ahead, but certainly the polls are showing he will win in May or June when that election does eventuate.
And how does Narendra Modi react to accusations that he has used inter-religious tensions as a political ploy?
It's been really interesting to see what Mr. Modi has said, especially over the last few weeks in regards to this temple opening. I mean, he actually spoke to his followers on Twitter last week and he said that God had told him to come here to Ayodhya and open this temple today. He's effectively selling himself as this divine incarnation on earth that has been chosen to lead India, and therefore he deserves this victory later on in the year. And he is reiterating the point that a lot of major Hindu groups here are saying. They're saying, well, this is the birthplace of Ram, that, for centuries before that mosque was built in ancient times, Hindu people recognise that site. Now, that's obviously up for dispute. Historians have different views on that, but that's definitely what Mr. Modi's position is on all of this. The thing is, though, all over the city of Ayodhya, there are thousands, about 12,000 security personnel, because the government wants to make sure this goes without a hitch. The real test will be in a few hours when Mr. Modi leaves. They want to make sure that there aren't riots here, that there isn't anything that's reminiscent of that dark period in the 90s. So this city really is in a bit of a lockdown at the moment.
And Avni, I'm just keen to ask you, in your time there as a correspondent, what have you noticed about the ethnic and religious mix in India and how they work together or work against each other, and historically, how has that evolved and where is India now with all that?
It's such a tough question to answer, Joe, but it's what I've been watching the last couple of years as the correspondent here on the ground in India. I mean, this is a secular country in its constitution. That's how India was founded in its independence. There are hundreds of millions of Muslims here. That's the largest Muslim population anywhere in the world, and there are tens of millions of people of other religions as well. So this is definitely a really diverse country. It's obviously always had divisions, but there has been that religious unity. Even people I've spoken to here in Ayodhya, they've told me, well, you know, we're friends with Hindus. We always used to get on well. But what we have been seeing over the last few years under Narendra Modi's prime ministership is some of those divisions coming out. And Mr. Modi is standing on this agenda of making this a Hindu-dominant nation. This idea that this is a country for Hindus first, not necessarily one for people of all religions. And what this temple opening really shows is that's the agenda that he's still pushing, that, you know, even in this small site here in this town, it's so significant because it shows that, yet again, Hindu majority is winning in this area, and it's a microcosm for the rest of the country for sure.
Okay, Avani, yeah, it's been really interesting having a chat to you about this and getting an insight into that part of India. Thanks so much for that. Avani Dash reporting there from Ayodhya in India. And we'll have